Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's podcast. The topic for today is why it is very important to be humble as an entrepreneur. Humility is very important when you are a business owner, and there are several reasons why that is a good idea. One of them is that if you're not humble, the business will eventually make you humble. The business will force you into a humble position. And what do I mean by that? In business, you're going to have a lot of highs and you're going to have a lot of lows. And sometimes when you're riding the highs, it's in our nature to then also begin to puff ourselves up. Our ego grows large. We get very cocky, thinking that we are very invincible. But the lows are going to come. Eventually, you're going to reach that point where there's going to be a difficult issue, a difficult problem, or a very big challenge to your business. And that challenge may force you to go places that you've never thought you could go, or will force you mentally and push you to limits that you never even thought you had. And that is where the business then humbles you. So, off the bat, it is good to be humble in business, because if you don't do it yourself, the business will do it for you. But then there are several other reasons why humility is important in business. And I think those are very important to note because it's going to help you grow your business into a very successful business. And the first one is that if you're humble, if you take a humble approach to business, it opens you up for learning. Because then you get the right mindset about business. In business, you have to approach things as if you don't know much. So you're open to learning about your customers, which is the most important thing. You are in business to solve a problem that your customers have. So you should always be open to learning what is their current problem, what challenges they're facing. And that comes from being humble and accepting the fact that you don't know everything. You actually don't know much. And so you are open to going to your customers and constantly learning from them and seeing where you can add value to their lives through your product or your service. You're also constantly learning about your market, about your competitors, about the landscape in general, and about the future of your industry. And so being in that mindset where you're always assuming that you don't know much, and you're always assuming that, even if you think you do, that is always good to go out there and validate what you know, is going to help you grow your business. And by doing that, you're winning. And winning is what's important here. So if all these things you do gets you to win, then that's good. So that's why being humble, that's one of the reasons why being humble is very important in business. The second one is that humility allows you to ride the business cycles better. As I've said before, there's going to be highs and there's going to be lows. And if you're very humble and even-keeled, where you are not giving this impression of, outsized success than you actually are, if you're not giving this impression to your competitors that you have everything figured out, or you are giving this impression to your friends and family that things are just so good you can't be bothered, then when the lows come, when the low points in your business come, where you're struggling, your business is struggling, there are problems that you need to deal with, humility allows you to be able to deal with these problems rationally. And what do I mean by that? When you've given a false impression to everybody, when things are going bad, you begin to make irrational decisions because you're forced to want to keep up that outward appearance that you've led everybody to believe. So even if the business is in trouble, you're forcing yourself to keep this persona of this appearance that, everything is good, instead of focusing on what is the problem, what needs to be done to fix the problem. And sometimes when things are bad or when the business is facing serious challenges, you may have to lay off suppliers. You may have to lay off employees. You may have to do some very deep cost-cutting measures. And if you're humble, you're free to be able to do these things because your focus is what is best for the business. But if you're not humble and you're giving this impression that, you've painted this false picture, you put yourself in a corner where the moment you lay off your staff or lay off half of your staff, or you have to do some cost-cutting measures that shows people that things are not going as well as they should, then you box yourself in because you're delaying that decision because you don't want to show failure, or you don't want to show weakness, or you don't want to show that you're going through tough times. When in fact, business is about highs and lows. And so if you came to it with that assumption and you're not trying to paint any false picture, then when you have to make the difficult decisions, you can do it without any outside pressure. So that's the second reason why humility is very important in business. The third reason is that if you're humble, people are willing to help you. In business, you cannot do it alone. You're going to need mentors. You're going to need people in your network that are going to open doors for you to walk through. And you will learn very quickly that who you know matters a lot when it comes to, introductions to partners, introduction to investors, introduction to suppliers, introduction to good talent. Who you know is very important. And if you're not humble and everybody sees you as, cocky and full of it, people are not willing to go the extra bad for you. And to be honest with you, when things are not good in your business, when you're struggling and the business needs to turn the corner, that is when you need the help the most. And that is when, if you're humble, people are willing to go the extra bad for you. But when you are pompous and cocky and you think you know it all and you're giving this impression that, you just know it, you can do it all. When things are tough, people laugh at you. They're like, okay, let's see what you can do now. You don't want that. That doesn't help you. So being humble lets people go the extra mile for you. And I'm not and you will see when times are tough that one door that is open for you can be the turnaround that your business needs. So humility helps you get that door open for you. And the fourth reason is that people want to work for you. If you're humble and you approach business with some humility, your employees are willing to go the extra mile for you. Even when things are tough, they're willing to brainstorm with you, they're willing to put in the extra work, they're willing to do whatever it takes. But if you come across as if you are it, that nobody can tell you anything, nobody can tell you anything you don't already know. When things are tough, your employees are looking at their resumes and thinking, well, if you knew everything and things are not going well, then why are they here? So it goes a long way to keep people around you even through the toughest of times, which I said are going to come. You should get used to it. Business is about riding the highs and the lows. And the people that you surround yourself with, the employees that are there with you during the highs, you want them to stay for the lows because they are going to be the people that are going to dig deep and help you get out of that funk. And finally, the fifth reason why it pays to be humble in business is that you get to play your cards the way you want it. If you're out there showing all your cards or playing all your cards, then when your competitors, anybody that wants to enter the industry, everybody knows your play already. But let your work speak for you. If you're humble, your work speaks for you. And so you have your cards to your chest, and then you play your cards when you want to. But if you've already played it, if you already put it all out there, and you've already boasted about everything and how great you are, people can pick you apart openly. But if you're humble and you let your work speak for you, you just dig deep and just keep producing, keep showing success, your work will speak for you. And then when you need to make adjustments, you can play your cards when you want to because you've always had it to your chest. And so people don't know what the next play is. It keeps your competitors on edge. It keeps people who are trying to come into your industry and eat your lunch on edge because nobody knows what you're up to. All they know is that your work speaks for you. So that is my podcast for today. Now, I want to define what I mean by humility because I am not saying that you should not go out there and celebrate success when you have to. That's great. In business, you want to show that things are going well and celebrate success when you have to. What I mean by humility is taking an approach that you don't know everything. Taking an approach that you're here to learn because the learning is a big part of the doing. And so it's not being a coward or being timid. Humility is about knowing that you don't know everything. Humility is about surrounding yourself with people who are good at some things that you're not good at and admitting that you're not good at everything. Humility is about listening to people even though you may not take everything they say. Humility is about, being open to different ideas, even from, the lowest person in your company. Humility is about treating people like you want to be treated. So you put all that together and it gives you a frame of mind where you're open to ideas, open to learning, and open to the challenge, and that you're not painting a picture that is false, or you're painting a picture that you think is going to last forever. And in business, nothing lasts forever. So that's what I mean by humility. So I hope this video is helpful to you. That's the end of today's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel for upcoming videos. Thank you.